down on miscreants along Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. Federal government earmarks $800 million for construction of power substations, distribution lines. On a foreign scene, European Union calls for ceasefire after killing of Israeli hostages. And in sports, Nigeria's Eniola Bolaji makes history in para badminton after semi-final qualification for 2024 Paralympics. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. The Lagos State Task Force has commenced a comprehensive operation aimed at ridding the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway of miscreants and suspected criminals who have been terrorizing motorists and residents in the area. The operation, which took place along key locations including Chisco Roundabout, Ilegushi, Ikate Roundabout and Mara bus stop, was executed following a series of complaints lodged by concerned motorists and residents through the agency's feedback channels. Chairman of the Lagos State Task Force, Adetayo Akirili, assured residents that this exercise is part of its mandate as enshrined in the Themes Plus agenda of the governor to restore law and order along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and across the metropolis. I currently enjoined motorists and residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious activities to the agency or the nearest police station. The Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs, LASODA, has hosted over 150 children with special needs, caregivers and owners of homes in an atmosphere of fun to celebrate the uniqueness of the children and encourage their continued growth and inclusion. Speaking at the event, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Adeniro Kasali, expressed gratitude to the caregivers and parents for not isolating their children with special needs out of fear of discrimination. He emphasized that keeping these children at home limits their access to valuable privileges and socialization opportunities, which are crucial for their mental and intellectual development. On her part, General Manager of LASODA, Adenike Oyetunde Lawal, emphasized the importance of supporting children with special needs, ensuring they are included and empowered in the community. She highlighted the state government's effort in promoting the rights and well-being of people living with disabilities, noting that the program is a step towards fostering a more inclusive society. The Nigerian Army 6th Division says its troops, in conjunction with other security agencies, have destroyed about 115 illegal refining sites, 66 boats, and arrested 22 suspects in Rivers and Bayelsa states. The troops also recovered a total of 27 stolen pipes and 4 pumping machines, while 5 illegal connections used in siphoning crude oil by the suspects were clamped, with over 170,000 stolen products confiscated, in addition to other ancillary items deactivated. Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division, Army Public Relations, Jonah Danjuma, while giving a breakdown of the arrest achieved within 1 week, said the feat was aimed at tightening the noose. And now to the rest of the stories. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu has announced the federal government's plan to release $800 million for the construction of substations and distribution lines under the Presidential Power Initiative. Adelabu stated this during a facility tour of TBEA's Southern Power Transmission and Distribution Industry in Beijing, China. He stated that the funds will be allocated for the construction of substations for Lot 2 and substations and distribution lines for Lot 3, with $400 million designated for each. Lot 2 covers the franchise areas of Benin, Port Harcourt, and Enugu distribution companies, DISCOs, while Lot 3 covers the franchise areas of Abuja, Kaduna, Jos, and Kano DISCOs. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has announced the seizure of hard drugs worth 17.9 billion naira in major operations in Lagos and Rivers states. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi said the hard drugs intercepted at the Onne and Tinkan seaports were a total of 31,124,600 pills of tramadol and bottles of codeine-based syrup. Babafemi said a wanted former beauty queen, Christmas Aderioye, has surrendered to NDLEA Lagos Command after about 8 months in hiding. Aderioye was declared wanted by the agency in January after she escaped from her Lekki, Lagos residence when NDLEA operatives raided her apartment at Oral Estates, Lekki. Following credible intelligence, she deals in illicit substances. Now to foreign news. The European Union, EU, has called for a ceasefire after the murder of 6 Israeli hostages of Hamas, whose bodies were discovered in a tunnel in Rafah. EU's diplomat, Joseph Borrell, who expressed horror over the murder, said those young innocent men and women should have long been brought to safety and to their loved ones, calling for the release of the remaining captives. Israel says the captives died in Hamas captivity, while the Palestinian group says an Israeli airstrike killed them. Anyway, from all that, now sports. Nigeria's Eniola Bolaji has continued her historic outing at the ongoing Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, becoming the first African para-athlete to qualify for the semi-finals of the para-badminton event at the Paralympics. Bolaji recorded a straight-set victory in the women's singles 3 quarterfinals, beating India's Mandeep Kawar 2-0 to book a spot in the last 4. Alongside her Nigerian compatriot Chigozie Nnanna, they became the first African athletes to win a match at the Paralympics. Bolaji will be back later today for her semi-final match. And that's all for the news at 4. Just before we go, maintain adequate distance from the vehicle ahead of you to avoid collision. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, on YouTube subscribe and watch us live on our channel Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that under the Sanwo-Olu administration, Lawman launched the Lagos State Blue Box Recycling Initiative? You can get more details on the Lagos State government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Task Force has commenced a comprehensive operation aimed at ridding the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway of miscreants and suspected criminals who have been terrorizing motorists and residents in the area. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu has announced the federal government's plans to release $800 million for the construction of substations and distribution lines under the Presidential Power Initiative. We also told you that the European Union, EU, has called for a ceasefire after the murder of 6 Israeli hostages of Hamas, whose bodies were discovered in a tunnel in Rafah. And in sports, Nigeria's Eniola Bolaji has continued her historic outing at the ongoing Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, becoming the first African para-athlete to qualify for the semi-finals of the para-badminton event at the Paralympics. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Oluworku. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good afternoon.